More declined logos today. Again, 10 logos that we will analyze rapid fire. Let's begin. First, we have a good logo with a fairly small problem, the light source. It looks like there are two light sources, one coming more or less from this direction and falling on the beer, but the couch or the chair seems to have a different light source coming from this direction. You can have multiple light sources, but all of them should act on all of the objects. If you have two different light sources individually acting on two different objects, that destroys the harmony. It looks like the beer and the chair exist in two different environments. Next up, letter H or HM. I think this is a good idea. There is a fairly serious technical problem here though. With a 3D type design like this, you could use isometric projection, but with an isometric drawing like this, you would see the top sides of these vertical boxes. Alternatively, you could use two-point perspective for this. But if you do it properly, then this line and this one should all go to one point. This logo looks like it is somewhere between the two, between an isometric drawing and a perspective drawing. Best to pick one and to stick with it. If you need help with perspective, here is a link to our perspective tutorial. The link is in the description as well. Next we have a robot. The design could use some attention to detail, but the main issue for me is the color palette. This dark blue is too close to the black. It is difficult to tell them apart on the design. And that background. If you are watching this on a big screen TV, you might be blinded now. My apology. Close your eyes and think of something pretty. You'll be fine. But seriously, the background screams. Yellow is fine, but we don't want to be staring into the sun. Next, number 5 and a deer. Interesting design, but I don't see the point of this line being thicker than the rest. If all the lines are the same except for one little piece, then that piece will look like a mistake. Easy to fix. Next, a house with a heart and a plus sign. Not very unique. I found this one that is way too similar. And the heart and plus sign idea has been done. On LogoGround, we have different decline reasons for similarity. Let's call it the similarity scale. If the logo is a blatant copy, the designer is banned. If it is partially copied, that may also be a ban. Or the admin might be kind and decide to only give a warning. You won't get more than one warning though. If you come back the next day and do the same thing, that is a ban. Or we can decline a logo for being too similar, which means we don't think it was copied. You're just unlucky and someone else had this idea already. Or we can decline it for being generic if there are many logos that have this idea or look or theme. Or generic-ish, which means it's almost unique enough. You might want to work on that logo a bit more to make it unique. It can be rescued. And the last one is not LogoGround quality, which means it may be unique enough, perhaps, but it's a little boring. Not quite interesting or memorable enough to be approved on LogoGround. This logo was declined for being too similar to an existing design. Okay, next up, a dolphin. Well, it's a creature that somewhat resembles a dolphin. Some serious problems with the anatomy here. The nose is too big and the eye is weird, and the fin is more or less coming out of the back of the head. You need to take another look at dolphin anatomy. A panda with a game controller for eyes. This was a good idea many years ago when it was first invented. It is now so common that it has become a cliché. You'll have to be more creative with it, or better yet, avoid the game controller eye syndrome altogether. Next, letter B, book logo. Not bad. Something that seems wrong to me is that this top bowl extends further to the right than the bottom bowl. Normally it's the other way around. Here is the font that we use on LogoGround called Signica, and the same with almost any other font. The exception might be with a script or handwriting font or italics. There the top bowl might extend further to the right, but for this logo I would definitely make the top bowl smaller. Next, a bird logo. There are a number of issues here, like the weird anatomy and this tiny gap here and these tiny gaps, but I think the main issue is the inconsistency. We have very sharp points down here, like they were drawn with a razor blade, but then up here the fat rounded corners, like they were drawn with a blunt crayon. No harmony between the top and the bottom halves of this design. Another Panda logo, potentially a really good logo, I like it, but anatomy again. This arm is just a sausage. With a simple design, you cannot just throw anatomy away. If you look at this patch over the eye, it works, because its shape indicates the contour of the nose. And the same thing with the ear, that shows us the contour of the head. That's good. Sausages, not so good. You can have a very simple design and still have arms and legs that look like arms and legs. It just takes a little more effort. And that's all the logos I have for you today. Remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for joining me. More logos next time. I'll see you then.